Hey guys, Stephen Homer here from Top Guns out of Terre Haute, Indiana. We are starting a new segment called Cop Talk. And the purpose of this is we are going to be bringing up some different scenarios that law enforcement have found themselves in the middle of, and it's not always as easy or as cut and dry as what we would hope that it would be for them to make decisions. Now,
what we would call gray area.
Gray area. I hate gray area.
Yes.
Homer, his full-time job is actually in law enforcement. However, he works here to pick up a few extra dollars, and when I say a few, I do mean a few. So Homer is going to give us a scenario that he is familiar with, or maybe another department or whatever, but give us a scenario that you have seen that might be hard, and then we want your opinions.
One of the topics out there is, let's say you own a dog, you have property, you own a dog, and that dog strays off of the property and goes onto somebody else's property. So obviously on the other property, what can happen is we get a call. Law enforcement gets a call to come out and to either call the shelter, or, you know, there's a ton of different ways you can handle that. So say it gets down to the dog gets shot. The property owner takes a gun and he shoots the dog. The biggest topic is, does he have a right to shoot the dog? So obviously that's going to create a lot of gray area, especially when the state law statute comes into play. Did he have a right to shoot the dog? And then also the property owner that owns the dog, should that person be in trouble for letting her dog run astray?
All right, so there's a few different angles on this. I think I could argue both directions. Mm-hmm. I think if on the one hand, if I'm the property owner and there's a dog that comes onto my property, and I know that not everybody sees every dog the same. If a poodle comes onto my property, although they tend to be aggressive, I probably don't see that as much of a threat as, say, a pit bull or some sort of what I perceive psychologically in my head as being a more aggressive dog. Mm-hmm. Now, if I have a child in the yard or my pet in the yard that dog is getting close to, I think I'm going to be a little more apt to want to protect my child or my dog or my family member, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think I would be more apt to want to stop the threat, even if it hasn't gotten to the point of where it's threatening fully, but it's close enough that if it becomes a threat, there's no question it could kill my child or my animal.
Harm anything on your property. Right. Anything on your property.
But on the other side, hell, I have a German Shepherd. I would hate to think that if my shepherd goes off my property because she picks up a scent, and winds up on the neighbor's property and she's not aggressive, and then they shoot her because of the way she looks. Yep, it's a tough call. It really is.
And I've owned several German Shepherds before in the past, and I had an incident where it did go to the neighbor, and the neighbor didn't know I had her yet, and he thought, oh my gosh, that's a German Shepherd, highly aggressive.
Sure.
And she never was, she just wagged her tail. And of course, he came and got me and said, hey, your dog's over here. We handled it, took care of it.
Yeah.
But because of her appearance, she was a violent dog just because she was a German Shepherd. So had my neighbor shot her, would he have been justified? Would it have been okay for him to do that? Obviously not for me, because it was my dog. But the question is, does somebody on the property have a right to protect their property and keep a dog, aggressive or non-aggressive?
Well, I don't think it's just their property. Do they have a right to protect their animals and or family, children, or whatever?
And the IC code, the Indiana IC code that comes into play is animal cruelty. So if you shoot someone else's animal and it is not aggressive and does not meet the criteria, your property wasn't in any danger, you or anything on your property wasn't in danger, it's a level 6 felony in the state of Indiana to shoot an animal, a domestic animal. Extra note on that, I threw in what the charge could be on the guy that shot the dog if he didn't meet the criteria and it was a non-aggressive dog, came onto his property just wagging his tail, non-aggressive, and he shoots the dog, it's a level 6 felony. What do you think on the person that owns the dog? That charge would be a D infraction. So she let the dog run off the property, it would just be a D infraction. Person that shot the dog would be level 6 felony. So what do you think of those charges in comparison? You know, infraction, felony. Tell me what you think about those charges.
So the question comes into play is, at what point is it perceived by most individuals as a reasonable individual as a threat?
Right.
All right. So we want your opinions on this, both directions. And can we, and in this particular case, all right, what happened here is individuals on his property, pit bull comes onto property, 2 small dogs are there on property that belong to the owner. Pit bull's getting a little too close to the small dogs. Owner shoots the pit bull, and then of course, owner of the pit bull is now very upset, and so the question is, did this guy cross the line when he took that shot? So give us your opinions. We're not going to give you an answer on any of these videos. We want this to be an open dialogue, and what we will do, however, is for those of you that follow us on Patreon, if you go and sign up for our Patreon account, we will be making a follow-up video letting you know how the cases turn out as they are concluded. So the ones that are already concluded we'll have, and then the ones that we're waiting on a conclusion, we will post the conclusion of those once they resolve. But nonetheless, we would like to create just an open dialogue here on YouTube, and then we'll give conclusions there on Patreon down the road. All right, so there you have it. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure and check us out on Patreon to pick up the conclusions once they do come about. We appreciate your support. Take care.